to the Madison VOR, which is kind of hidden here, 110.4. And then what we're going to do, we're going to follow it from, and then we're going to go back to the Hartford VOR. And then when we get over the Hartford VOR, we should start to, we'll head north to back towards Bradley Field. And depending on the amount of time, we may just cut it short and go to Brainerd Field, right back here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be in the Airfoil Labs 172. We're going to tune VOR to 114.9. Then we're going to go head towards the Groton 110.85. Follow the Connecticut shoreline until we get to the Connecticut River opening around. And then we'll tune direct to the VOR. We'll do 110.4. And then once we get to that VOR, in this landmark, it looks like there's like a stream or something right on top of Guilford. I don't know, is my mouse circling it? Or if we overfly the VOR, then we'll make a right turn towards Hartford. So that's today's plan. That's today's flight. I'm looking roughly, Sky Vector has us at about 54 minutes. So I'm going to go with it's probably going to take a little bit longer. So I'm going to get the headset on. I'm going to set the chat up. I'm going to probably put the Obby tab. No, I'm going to probably try to do move VOR and move the chat into the headset, and I'm going to try to move Sky Vector into the headset so that as we're going, I won't have to jump in and out. So that's today's plan, and hopefully everything's going to go really well and really smoothly. I'm going to get in the headset. We're going to fire up the Airfoil Labs 172. I'm going to taxi over to runway 01. I got some stuff growing inside my headset here. I'm just gonna clean it off. Could be in my glasses. I don't know. Yeah, it might be in my glasses. Hang on. A little bit of dirt. All right, it's a little bit better, a little more clear. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna try to get this, get the chat set up. So we're gonna open up our advanced menu plugins. We're gonna go to Move VOR. We're going to manage Windows, and we want Twitch, Chrome. I believe this one is my chat. Yep. All right. So welcome to the chat. Welcome to the channel. Oftentimes I do not get alerts in the headset, so if I miss you joining, welcome to the channel. And then I'm going to go one more. I'm going to say Sky Vector, best quality. Good, we'll take Sky Vector. We'll put you over here for now. Close this one. Got a little rearranging going here. Tip the chat so I can read it. Sky Vector, make you a little larger. Whoa, that's perfect. And not sure if I can scroll through here. I can go up and down, it looks like. But I have my 3 main bores, so I think we'll be good with that. Alright, checking out the window. Gonna open up the window. I need a little bit of audio for myself. Get my, I got the earbuds as my main sim audio. Alright. Checking all the switches. Everything looks like it's all pressed in. That's good. Fuel selectors to both. Fire extinguishers good. I have all my my POH and all my registration. That's all present in the aircraft. Turn off these. Turn on my beacon light. Let everybody know that we are around. I'm going to throw in some engine prime here, crack the throttle, fuel pump on, peaks out, off, and off. Alright, we're going to stick our head out the window here. Clear prop. Ooh, it fires up really nice the first time. That's excellent. I love it when it does that. So you turn on the alternator, amps go up to charging, throw on some more visibility lights and some avionics. We set it for the about 160. So our first VOR that we're going to plug in is 114.9. Okay, I'm dialed in 114.9, and we're going to listen to the signal and see if we pick up the Morse code. And not yet. Probably because we are on the ground. Still waiting for the temperature to come up. I'm going to lean a little bit here. Let's see, the whiskey compass is reading 10, 15 degrees. Calibrate 10, 15. Roughly 1,000 RPMs. Alright, those of you who've been waiting for me to come back online, I had a little incident of wiping my computer. So I had to reinstall Windows. I basically have a clean install of everything. Alright, so now that I have the window closed, I can hear the VOR. Alright, so then what I did, I just confirmed the Morse code pattern, which is in the blue box. So you dial in your VOR 114.9, and you make sure you can confirm it with the Morse code. So now I'm going to shut off the nav. That's ready. The heading that we're going to take is about 140, so which is good. 143. Once we get over there, once we fly to the VOR, we're just gonna go direct. So once we head south, I'll be able to show you that. So we're gonna get ready to taxi here. Temperature's coming up in the green. We're flying without any ATC today. A little bit jittery. I mean, hopefully 3Js can keep up with all this, with the graphics. The Airfoil Labs plane itself does take up quite a bit of frames. Wait over there, mister. Following my lines. Looks like we get the moon up there. Nobody. Kind of keeping our head on a swivel, looking out for other aircraft. Following the lines. It's a beautiful day for flying here in New England. Alright, here we are, runway 01. Gonna stop, we're gonna hold short for a second. Let's see, I don't see, I think the windsock is at the far end of this runway. Just gonna do a quick run up. Check the mags. So we go line. Back to bolt. Back to bolt. Magnetos check out. Going to do a visual inspection here. Rudder looks good. Elevator looks good. Down, up, and down. Compasses look like they're lined up. Plenty of fuel. Amps are good. Back's good. Temperature is now up to takeoff conditions. So we're going to head off of this runway. We're going to bank to the right. We're going to follow the Connecticut River, and we are going to head direct to the Hartford VOR once we get to Brainerd Field. Hope you guys understand all that. So I kind of have the I guess I have the local knowledge. That's kind of what I was getting at. So I think if you're going to practice your VOR technique, having a little bit of local knowledge helps. At least starting out it does. So we're going to slowly advance the throttle. Good. Got a little right rudder in there. Lay down the rotation there. And we're off. Welcome to Bradley Field, right in the heart of Connecticut. Nice climb out here. And we're just going to head right over there to our right. A little bit of jutters may get worse as we go to Hartford, and then it'll probably kind of clear up again. So we have our first VOR tuned, 114990. And there's the river right over there, up the right-hand window. We're going to make a right turn out. Up ahead of us, that would be Mount Tom in Massachusetts. Continuing our climb. We're just going to bring it up to 2,500, then we might set in with the autopilot. Just going to try to check a little peek at the audio levels here. So if I start veering off course, I'll be back in a second. I'm going to turn down the desktop just a tiny bit. I don't know if we need to have the Cessna that loud. And here we are, coming over the Connecticut River. We're going to keep this out the left-hand side of the aircraft. Just going to enjoy the scenery. This is zoom level 18 ortho. Just this little section of Hartford, though. The rest of my ortho is 16. Actually, I might have even gone 18 on this one. Did take a long time to create. 2,300. And banking right. And 2,500. We're going to level this thing off. Perfect. Going to make this a little bit easier. Going to autopilot and altitude hold. And we are going to, why didn't that hold right sure why. That was too cold. Good. Now we're going to use the heading mode, so we're going to use the heading button to control our direction. So we just kind of have it roughly set, almost direct due south. Actually, we'll go a little closer to south. Keep it a little tighter to the river. Alright, let's see. That's good. And we're going to throttle down to 2200 RPMs. We're going to turn off the, I didn't put on the tape kitten. I didn't turn on the landing light. Oh well, but the text was still on, so we'll turn that off. Set ourselves for a little bit of a cruise here. Going a little over 110. Put the yoke back. I'm going to check one thing here. Good, things look good. So directly in front of us is looks like a Brainerd Field coming up. Yep, that's it right there at the bend. So we are, I don't know if you can see me looking at the, turn this off of my, so we're just above here. So as we come through Brainerd, we're just going to tune to the VOR. And we'll change our heading. Oh, you can't see the cockpit in the stream, huh? Oh boy. So let me shut off the... Let me see if this does it. Nope, that didn't do it. Alright. So I was trying to have this go away as we were kind of coming in and out of stuff. So I think the only way to do it is here. Just got to find my preview for a second. I'm glad you popped in and said something. I switched my preview, and now for some reason my scenes aren't coming up. Ah! Hang on. Oh, I had this so worked out the other day. That's the mixer, that's this, that's that. Hang on, this should only take me a second to figure out, but it's taking longer. There we go, and it should be... There we go. Outlander, how's that? The first glitch of the day. Good, that did shut off the sky vector in here. I think that's what you were talking about, right? So to tune to the VOR, what we're going to do, thank you. We're going to use the OBS knob right here. And we're going to tune it till we get a 2 signal. Let's from, keep turning. And then you tune it till it gets to the center. So now we need a heading of 165. So we'll move over to 151.65. And that will move us over. Just a couple more clicks. Alright, so now we're headed towards the VOR. And it's still a little bit to our left. So I'm going to give it a second to see if it dials in, but I think I got to turn like a couple more clicks on the heading bug. And once that, alright, so it's starting to move right there. Alright, now we are going straight for the VOR. So once this flips, then we're going to, once the to from flips, we're going to tune into the Groton VOR, which is back on there. I wrote it down, 110.85. And I can set that up in my column too. So 110.85. So once this flips, then we can move over. See the line is moving a little bit to our right, so we're just going to creep over to the right a tiny bit. We're trying to follow that 162, 163 radial, but try not to chase it too much. The closer you get to it, the faster that thing's going to move. So what we can do, we can listen in to see if we picked up the second VOR. Seems like we're off our radio a little bit. So I don't know if you guys can hear, in my headphones I can hear the Groton VOR. It's still a little bit faint, so it's there. And that thing should just be flipping any second now. Little golf course down there. So let's see, I think I'm trying to see how I can get Sky Vector. It wasn't working as a browser source for me. That's why I was trying to, I did it as a windowed source. That's why I was blocking the cockpit. And see the to from just flipped. So now we're going to ignore the top OBS dial, and now we're going to tune to the Groton VOR 2. And so now if we turn and we go to 30, 145, if we stay at about 145, that heading should be sending us to the Groton VOR. Yeah, it looks about right. So we can turn off the sound. And now the next major landmark that we're going to really look for is going to be the airport. Golf Oscar November. Then we're going to make a hard right and follow the Connecticut shore. So I think the performance is pretty good today. Not having any clouds is certainly helping the frame rates. And if you didn't hear my introduction, why I've been kind of offline the last 2 weeks is that I totally sort of accidentally wiped my whole computer. I thought I was only going to reformat my SSD, but it wound up wiping my storage drive, which had all my ortho scenery on it, so I had to recreate everything. So in the process of rebuilding, I actually moved my whole X-Plane folder to an M.2 card, and I put the M.2 card in a USB 3.1 enclosure, so I actually have my X-Plane running on an external hard drive outside of the box. There was no noticeable times in startup times or noticeable loss in frames. So now, in case anything happens to my main SSD drive, I don't have to reinstall my X-Plane. I do have a backup copy on my storage drive, but as you can see, that actually got wiped out too. I'm going to turn down my headset just a tiny bit. How's the aircraft volume? Too loud, too soft? So let's see, if memory serves, should just be up past this body of water that's off the nose there. So we're going to go over the Thames River in New London, and then we should be right over the airport, and then we're going to go make a right-hand turn. So what I can do in the meantime, I can sort of prep the top OBS to the Madison VOR, which is 110.4. Whoa. Go back up to here. So I'm just going to listen in, make sure that's dialed in 110.4, and see if we can even pick that up. Faintly, I can faintly hear And being VFR, we're keeping a lookout for, there's no traffic in the air today. I don't have, I didn't set up world traffic. Looks like our radial is moving a little bit to our left, so we're just going to go a click to the left. There we go. Give that a little bit of time to catch up and kind of track us. And get the instruments working together. Oh, this is where I think my scenery splits from Hartford to southern Connecticut. So that's why that little pause was right there. So now I'm going from, I think, zoom level 18 to zoom level 16. Looks like gotta move a tick more to the left, but not much more. We'll be close enough that we'll recognize and see the Groton Airport. And then right back to our right is kind of our second waypoint. I don't know if you guys can see over there. This is where a glove would be come in handy, so I can kind of point out my windshield. Then we'll tune the Madison VOR. So I think probably about 5 more minutes. So I believe that's the Thames River showing up. And then we'll just be past that. So maybe we'll even turn before the Groton Airport and follow the river, and then stay to the right. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what they come up with in England this weekend at Gosford. It's kind of it seems like it's one of the bigger, or at least it's one of the more public simulation shows. So we're almost like right back on course for the VOR. So I might just make one more click to the right. We're getting close enough to the VOR where the needle sensitivity is going to be very sensitive. Tiny changes. This is where you really don't want to kind of chase after the needle. Looks like we just had a weather change there, or we just got a flat tire, I don't know. I believe no weather is off, and I just have it on Quebec. You know, nice and sunny day. I don't think we're pushing the Cessna too much. We are going 112, 120. Turn that down just a little bit, a little less throttle maybe. Good, we're really dialed in down here at the bottom, going straight towards it. It's about as even and as direct as you can get. I may pop the map back up mid-flight and then do like a quick demonstration of VOR triangulation. So where I'll use 2 VORs to kind of really pinpoint us on the map. So I was trying to put the sky vector in a browser, but I kept getting like the black screen. And I turned off the hardware acceleration, it still didn't seem to fix it. So I'm kind of unsure. That was in Chrome. I tried Edge. Same thing. The browser sources weren't coming through. But there was an update to Streamlabs OBS when I just before I came on, so I'm going to see if that is going to make a difference. Hopefully it will. I'm going to go back to Nav1 radio, which is the bottom, and listening for Madison. Alright, so that's working good. We got the Madison tuned in. 110.4. And the Groton Airport should be, there it is, it's right in front of us. Excellent, so this VOR navigation is really, it's really doing its job. And that Connecticut River opening is only going to be a couple nautical miles, so it's going to be a pretty quick turn. So right now we could tune this to the Madison VOR. We'd have to turn, to go direct to it, we'd have to go directly to the west, which that concurs. It would be basically, we'd have to rotate back to, say, 5 o'clock on the aircraft, so it's directly back there. What's that do? Why do you not like the sea? Seagrass. You guys see that? I don't know, it's weird. It's not like I can adjust it up or down, can I? Can't move the seat forward or backwards. Alright, so now that we have the airport in sight, everything is confirmed via our map. I'm going to just start heading to 150. Going to keep turning. We're going to go right down the river here. Just adjusting with the heading bug. I have a button programmed on the top of my joystick, but in real life, you can just rotate the heading bug. Like that. Got some great water reflections going today with some great detail down there. If you look really hard in the water there, you can probably find a submarine. Electric boat. Be a fun Easter egg to put into the game. A couple of shark fins, orca-pods. Actually, I think somebody might have fish. I do believe that right there is a big part of electric boat. I'm going to start turning to the right. I don't know why I went to roll mode. Man, looking good. So once we kind of clear the mouth of the river here, we're just going to turn right. Looking nice. Alright, let's crank this around. And head west. And we can take a look at all the nice beaches down here. Not too crowded this time of year. That looks pretty accurate. And that was a nice turn. Thank you, autopilot. Checking the gauges, you got plenty of fuel. Temperature is good, oil pressure is good, fuel flow, EGT is excellent. Vacuum's in the green, amps are charging. And we have on the nav lights and strobe lights and the beacon light. Running super sampling at 1.4 for those that want to know. Trying to dial in that sweet spot in my helmet today. Some days it just, you hit it, and other days it doesn't want to be quite as sharp. But so far I feel even streaming with the Airfoil Labs, I feel like I'm getting a nice smooth frame rate. I have nothing to complain about. And I think just ahead, after this little bay right there, will be the Connecticut River. Then we'll tune into the Madison VOR. We'll head over there. And so right now, we can take the bottom Groton one with the from dial. We can see which radial we are going from. We're on the 250 from. Which is probably a little bit, it's probably not that as we're moving. We can keep adjusting. 250. We're headed pretty much west, so once the radial's kind of, once we get a little further away from the bore, it'll be a little bit, the sensing won't be so sensitive. So we just keep making adjustments because we're not on the 250 radial. And the further we move west, the more accurate it will get. I was going to do this in the Just Flight 152, but the advantages of having the two nav radios where you can flip back and forth, and there's a big advantage. It doesn't have that in the Just Flight. So you kind of have to, you can't prep, you have to tune them one at a time, listen in, go to the VOR, listen in for the next one. So on a map, you can see if we were on the 260 radial right now. That's, that's the direction that we're coming from. And then as we're moving, we're getting closer to the 270 radial. That's why I keep having to adjust it. That looks like the mouth of the Connecticut River there. So we know we're probably on the 260 radial moving towards the 270. So now we have the Madison VOR here. We're going to let this fly. We're going to fly a little bit longer, but if we just turned and went to 280, 290, 292, that would take us directly there. It's looking like the mouth of the Connecticut River, so we'll go a little bit more. Our aim point to turn is that little point that's just over the whiskey compass there. That's kind of the VFR landmark that I had picked out. So now we can see what radio we're on from. So from Groton, we're on about the 260 radio. You can see it's moving less and less the further that we away from Groton that we go. Rolling things over in my head here. Wondering if I open up Hobby tab. I don't think I wrote down the ATIS. So let's see if I can figure this out here. So open this one up. We're going to go airport. So we're going to go hotel. I'll just land at Hartford Brainerd. So I'm going to do Hartford Brainerd next. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get the ATIS 12645. So that'll be our top communications.
Hartford Brainerd Information Oscar. 1300 Zulu weather. Wind 040 at 7. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 19, dew point -5. Altimeter 3014. Arriving runway 11, departing runway 11. Advise on initial contact you have Oscar.
Okay, information Oscar, so we can get rid of that. Everything seems pretty good. So now what we're going to do, now that we're by the mouth of the Connecticut River, we're going to tune to Madison VOR to direct. In order to get directly to Madison, we've got to fly heading 30. So we're going to turn the aircraft to 30. Maybe 3-1. So now we're pretty much on a direct line for the Madison VOR. I'm going to pop up Sky Vector one more time. I'm going to block the cockpit. So it'll be turn on the window capture. And of course it didn't come back into Move VR. So back to Move VR. See if I can get that. Sky Vector planning, move into VR. Sky Vector planning, Google Chrome. Nope. It's not letting me do it now. And then I got this humongous. That's alright, we know where we're going. We're going to Hartford Brainerd. We're following the 300 radial 30. And I believe it does have a DME built into it, but I don't have the DME frequency. So let me shut that back off. Get back into the cockpit. So we're a little to the right of the 30 radial, so I'm going to move a couple more notches. I'm going to fly this thing as close to perfect over that radial. So when that thing starts to move. Remember, you don't want to chase the radial too much. It's kind of got to give it some time to level itself out, instrument-wise. Give it some time to, to really see the movement. Okay, it looks like it's starting to pull back in towards center, so I'm going to start to go back towards 30. And my gyro compass may not be 100% calibrated with the whiskey compass. That, because I just lined up my gyro compass kind of with the whiskey compass. I eyeballed it. I didn't use any kind of auto feature to where it would be perfectly accurate. I don't know if I can do us a quick favor. The Madison board does not have DME in it. And Hartford is 114.9er, so we'll get the Hartford back in. 114.9er. And so when we get ready, we'll flip. We'll listen into Nav 2. It's just starting to pick up the Hartford VOR, which is good. Keep that quiet for a little bit. And we are now navigating some more. We're now looking out the window. This is, I think with all things, you got to navigate, you got to aviate first, so we should be looking out the window. VOR navigation, I'm pretty comfortable with it, but I'm still probably gave a little too much attention to the instruments and probably not enough, directly looking out the window. So again, we'll scan, don't hear any traffic, don't see any traffic. We're cruising along at 42 to 46 frames. We have the settings pretty cranked up on this too. A slight overclock on the computer and the graphics card. And so now we're slightly to the left of the line. So maybe just one click back. We got to be getting really close to the VOR because the needle's starting to move really pretty quickly. So now I would probably just leave it. And as that needle drifts further and further away, it's just going to flip. And then when it flips from, we'll rotate it back to the bottom to nav 2, and we'll tune into heartbeat. Oh, it must be that 45-minute window of scenery drawing. I'm going to take a quick look and see if Noah's on, because I don't want to eat up more frames than necessary on this. Got to find my mouse. Plugins. Noah is on. So I'm going to go back up to flight configuration, clear, apply changes, go through one more quick redraw there. Got some text messages coming in from a whole bunch of people here. Alright, nothing that I don't think I have to answer for now. I'm going to listen to the ATIS because now the
Hartford Brainerd Information Oscar 1300 Zulu weather. Wind 350 at 10. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 4600 broken. Temperature 18. Dew point 9. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runways 02 right. 02. Departing runways 02 right.
As you can see,
02.
We did overfly
Advise
the
on
VOR.
initial contact you have Oscar.
It did flip. Now we are going from. Now we're going to go to Hartford to get this thing centered. And so now we have to turn to 03.
Hartford Brainerd Information
So
Oscar
32 degrees.
1300 Zulu weather.
Crank this thing around.
Wind 350 at 10. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions 4600 broken. Temperature 18. Dew point 9. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runways 02 right. 02. Departing runways 02 right.
So we're
02.
going to go a little bit
Advise
heavier
on
than
initial
30.
contact you have Oscar.
Going to probably go to closer to 40. Once that needle starts to dial itself back in, then we'll come back to, the 3-2.
Hartford Brainerd Information Oscar 1300 Zulu weather. Wind 350 at 10. Visibility more than 10. Sky conditions
So I guess we're kind of flying
4600
old school a
broken.
bit.
Temperature 18. Dew
Combination
point 9.
of
Altimeter 2992. Arriving runways 02 right.
VFR.
02. Departing runways
Adding a little
02 right.
instrumentation into
02.
it.
Advise on initial contact you have Oscar.
02. Turn that back up.
Hartford Brainerd Information Oscar.
Turn back off there. Hopefully the weather stabilizes, unless I didn't save the NOAA setting. Let me check that configuration. Yeah, I didn't apply and save. What the heck? Alright, that should be better. Keeping an eye on that number 2 OBS. It looks like it's starting to come back to the left a little bit. And once that comes back, we'll turn our heading back to like 3.5. Just let it tick to the right. Almost there. Looks like it's starting to come in. Yeah, it's coming in slowly because we're kind of far away from the VOR. Which is good. It gives you time to dial things in. Keep searching for aircraft. Starting to come in. Slowly moving back to the left to 3.5. And again, depending on how accurate I set the gyro compass to the whiskey compass, we should be off a couple degrees. It's looking really good right here. We're almost perfectly straight onto our heading. And according to the gyro, we got a couple of clicks back to the left we can go. We're almost splitting that dot. Do a couple clicks. I'll call it probably, right about there. So now we should be on the 35-degree radial. Don't quiz me, I know one's a bearing and one's a radial. I think one going 2 is the bearing, and coming from is the radial. I could have that backwards. So now we are perfectly bisected. So I'm going to keep us on this radial. Move just one more notch to the left, a couple degrees. Get this external view for a second here. Little chase plane. It's kind of like that magic carpet effect. Looking good. All the lights seem to be firing. Back in the cockpit. And so now that we're going to the Hartford VOR, we can look out for the Connecticut River, which I believe we're coming up on right here. So if we want, we can continue VFR, true VFR, and follow the river. The Hartford VOR is, on the east side. So I think it might be a little bit more fun to just follow the river. What we'll do, that bend that's probably at 11 o'clock. We'll head for that. Let me take a quick look at my sky vector chart that I don't want to be so aggravating about the browser sources not not being able to come in. So let's see kind of where we are going to be on the map. Thinking. We're just going to follow this. Follow the river. And listen to see what runway we're landing on. Check the altimeter again. Oops.
Hartford Brainerd Information Oscar. 1300 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility more than 10. Sky clear, temperature 14, dew point -10. Altimeter 2992. Arriving runways 02 right, 02. Departing runways 02 right, 02. Advise on initial contact you have Oscar.
Good, so we've got the airports are kind of in our favor coming from this direction.
Hartford Brainerd Information Oscar. 1300.
Turn those off. And so continue tracking to the VOR, which kind of takes us a little further away from our destination, or we follow the river. This is squawking VFR, which I don't think I squawked VFR, because this is primarily a VOR demonstration. Let's head north. Follow the river. Can't see Hartford from here yet, and that it has to do with 3J. It doesn't load as much information in favor of keeping frames stable at 45. So just using the heading bug, just turning slowly and gently over another golf course right here. Probably one of the Portland golf courses. That might be the Aragoni Bridge over there. That's probably Route 66 that way. Yeah, I would guess that's Portland east and west. Those are just my guesses, though. I don't golf much. Though I did do a really nice flyover Carnoustie with I believe it was in the Nahadrian mod Coronado 152. Or, probably should say that the other way around. Coronado 152 version 2 with the Nahadrian mod. 4.1.1 is due to be coming out pretty soon. It's going to have I believe, a more in-depth electrical system, fully integrated electrical system. And then looks like 4.1.2 is going to incorporate a bunch of nose wheel steering, getting that correct. Highly recommended. It's a great $24 investment. So I got some DME, looks like. At the bottom here. I don't know which frequency it is. And so right now the Hartford VOR is way off to our right, so if we wanted to, we could figure out what our heading would have to be. So if we wanted to continue to the Hartford VOR, we'd have to head to basically 110. We just have to make a hard right turn and then some. Not sure why the altitude hold is not really holding. Slowly been gaining. Right there, a real life aircraft flying above. Hopefully this isn't too boring, and hopefully everybody's kind of getting the concept of basically you get the VOR information from your sectional charts. Most people, I think, in the simulation world are using SkyVector. So that'll have all your information on it. Has all your, it's your sectional chart. So it'll have terrain, landmarks, airspace, everything that you need. It has all the VORs. It has the common VFR landmarks. I want to think that spot that's off the nose, a couple inches up off the nose, is Hartford Brainerd, but no, wait. There it is. Oh, we're already over it. Woohoo! Here we are, we're home. Alright, we're going to go through lumps, gear down, landing light on, fuel selector, undercarriage, mixture, full, so that gear, lighting, undercarriage, mixture, props, and seatbelt and switches. So that's good. So we're going to start our descent into Hartford Brainerd. Turn off the autopilot. That was a little bit quicker than I thought. So we're landing on the runway right there in this direction. So let's bank right. Follow the cove and make a right base. Keeping an eye on our turns, make sure we're coordinated. Trying to lose around 500 feet a minute. So serious, this is X-Plane 11. It is. I am in the Airfoil Labs, Cessna 172. Coming in for a landing in Hartford Brainerd, over my right shoulder there. Just kind of did a little VOR tour of Central Connecticut. Yeah, this is X-Plane 11.26. Man, so serious, welcome to the channel. I need to put a toggle switch on that. So I think if we go to the next big bend up there. That might set us up for a nice approach into Zone 2. Yeah, so serious. I stream X-Plane 11 and I stream general aviation aircraft. Primarily I'm doing a couple of different Cessnas, the Airfoil Labs, the default Cessna with the rep. I use the Just Flight Pipers in the, I also stream Just Flight 152. I do the Carenata 152 with the Nahadrian mod, and occasionally I take out the Beechcraft Baron. It's kind of my only twin that I regularly fly. Just going to make our right-hand turn in. Set up for a nice landing, hopefully. But like I said, most people tune into this channel like NASCAR. It's my favorite thing. Tune in for the last 2 minutes to see if I wreck or if I walk away. The 3J plugin is working pretty well today. Everything's been really smooth. Without the 3J plugin, it would be building the Hartford skyline, and it would be putting in more buildings. You can see it populates the buildings as you get closer. So it only draws what's really important at the time. So it really does help manage the frame rate that way. So as soon as we probably turn towards final, you'll see it'll probably start to draw in some buildings for the city of Hartford. Feel like we're up a little bit high still, below 110. We can do the first notch of flaps. There we go. Hold off that balloon just a little bit. Keep that 500 feet a minute or so to set. Much more of the throttle. We are a little bit high here. Got all 4 weight on the Pappy lights. I'm going to do a little slipstream here. Lose some altitude a little bit quicker. I don't feel like doing a go around right now. And on our left there at the front window is Weathersfield Cove. Ours is looking about right there. Undo the slip. Keep that throttle down. Little nose up here. Still a little high. Up this thing. Come on down. Still coming in a little bit fast. Picking up the glide slope there, but right there. I'm gonna go second notch of flaps there. Try to slow this thing down. Go third notch of flaps. Field made. Kind of splitting that runway. Buildings are being drawn, kind of like I predicted. 3J, do your thing. And coming in 50, 60, cutting the throttle, looking way down the runway, gonna hit a little bit hard. Hit a little bit hard. Take a look at the landing speed indicator. I gotta move a couple things around. It said acceptable. I'd agree, it didn't give me a big thump. Alright, so that is my VOR tour of the Hartford area. Left, right, nobody. clean up the aircraft as we come in here. Looks like there's a little bit of space up here. So Sirius and Botlando, thank you guys for coming by the channel. Thank you for keeping me company on this flight. Hopefully it give you guys a little, gives viewers a little more confidence in, board-to-board navigation. And there's Hartford being drawn in with our power lines. I'm going to upload this to YouTube. Probably be up there in, say, a half an hour. So if you missed the first half, so serious, and you want to catch up to it, the first few minutes I had the cockpit was kind of blocked. I was trying to get the browser source to come in, but it wasn't, so I had to use a screen capture source. So then it worked correctly, but then it blocks the scene. So yeah, it's a little bit of a pain, a little bit of a learning curve. So we're going to do some shutdown here. We're going to go avionics off, turn off some lights. Idle cut off. Good. Beacon light off. Master battery off. Those off. Check the fuel selector. Good. And control lock is in place. Excellent. So I just wanted to say, hey, thanks for everybody for coming out to the channel today. We're going to walk off into the sunset. Oh, wait. Hang on. No, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Why isn't it teleporting me? I was trying to teleport myself. Oh, no, what I gotta do? Hang on. There we go. There's my friends, there's my passengers. Do a quick little inspection of the aircraft, a little walk around. Haven't touched those yet. That's one thing I like about this Airfoil Labs. My seating position is low. I have to readjust that. No damage to the wings, looking good here. Looking good here. Check the prop. Looks mammoth. Alright, so shut the door. Just wanted to say again, thanks everyone for coming to watch the channel. I'm Squawking 1200 and I'm out of here.